Hey, this is the part 2 video for your week 12 intervals assignment. We've already done the first step, or actually technically step 2 of your assignment, and now we're going to go on to step 3. In step 3, you get to add harmonic intervals to a song, or we'd call this harmonizing a song. So I've actually already written out the melody for you, and you get to add the harmonic intervals. I've given you the link to this composition. You can copy and paste that and enter it in your browser. I've done that already, and it says copy this for your interval composition. To do that, all you need to do is click in the first measure. If you press Shift on your keyboard and click in the last measure, it'll highlight everything. You can go to copy, and then come back to your composition. Remember, we added those 4 measures in the last video. Select the first measure, press Shift, select the last measure, and now you can come up and paste in. So now you have the melody pasted in. You get to add the harmonic intervals. I've listed them here, so like a major third, a major second, a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth. A lowercase m means minor third, major second, perfect fifth. So this is where I see I get to start with a major third, that I can come over to the document and see that a major third is going to have 4 half steps in this. Now, I have just major third here, but there's actually 2 notes before I get over to the major second for the next part. You are going to have more melody notes than you do notes that you're going to write harmonic intervals for. So I'm going to have a major third playing while this C and this E are playing, and then it's going to switch to a major third, a major second when I get to F, and then for G right here. So one hint is to look at the notes in the melody. Okay, so I have a C and an E. Let's see, can I make a major third using at least one of those 2 notes? So a major third up from C, I need 4 half steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, actually takes me up to E. So I could just use a C and an E, or let's say I could use E, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, or I could use an E and a G sharp. And usually using at least one of the notes that's in the melody is going to make sure that it sounds good. I think I'm going to go with the first option and use C and E. Now, one of the problems, sometimes it gets a little hard to stack the notes on top of each other, which we need to do for harmonic intervals. So I'm going to come down to the slider in the lower right-hand corner and zoom in just a little bit. So we'll click on that. So there I have a major third. Now this actually needs to play for these 2 notes right here. So I could either turn those into a half note, which I'm going to choose to do, or you could write 2 quarter note major thirds, or you could come up with some other rhythm that adds up to 2 counts. Okay, so now on to a major second for the second half of this measure. I see I have an F and a G. I need a major second, so let's see, a major second is going to have 2 half steps. Let's see, if I do a major second up from F, so 1, 2 half steps, actually would take me right up to G, so I can just use an F and a G, or let's see, G, 1, 2, up to A. I'm going to go with, if I know I'm doing the notes that are in the melody that it's going to sound good, so I'm going to use F and G. And those are going to look funny when you write them because there's just not enough space to stack them on top of each other. You do notice that the bottom line is written in the bass clef. So this is where you'd use your, all cows eat grass for the spaces, or like maybe Great Big Dreams for America for the line notes. So do watch out that the note names are in different places than the treble clef on top. This is like how you would typically read a piano score. You get the high notes and the low notes in there. If you've changed around instruments, you may have treble clef on the bottom score as well, so do watch out for that. Now if I want to hear what this sounds like, and I don't want to play all the way from the beginning, I can hover over at the top and just hit play, and it will start right in this measure. Now it'll keep playing all the way to the end, but I'm going to hit stop in the lower left-hand corner. So I get to continue on doing the same thing for the next 3 measures of the composition. Saying, okay, a perfect fourth, well I have a C right here. I then have to use a perfect fifth when I get to this G over here. So let's see, figuring out maybe a perfect fourth up from C would sound good here, and then figuring out what that is and using that in the composition. The huge thing just is to make sure that you like the way it sounds. If you've entered notes that don't work together, it is probably going to sound kind of funny, and we're looking right now for something that you like the way that it sounds, so you think it sounds good. So good luck, have fun, and if you have any questions, of course, get in touch with me.